What is good, YouTube? We got another iconic reaction for y'all today. Shouts out to the UK, all my people in England and Europe listening to specifically these reactions because they are the UK rap scene. Lowkey was one of my favorite Fire in the Booths. The part 1 went crazy. I'm super pumped to check out part 2. You guys are putting me onto so many dope rappers. I really appreciate y'all. Hit that sub if you haven't already. We're trying to hit that 1,000 mark past 800. The love has been crazy, and I'm going to show some love in the comments right here. Joshua Ebel or Ebel on the Lil Dicky Sway reaction says, so I like your take on a few of his bars, but I think that bar, take chickpea and smash, I call it hummus, is a reference to how you smash chickpeas to make hummus. Yes, I think that's the literal interpretation. Sometimes I don't talk about the actual interpretation of the bar and only focus on the second meaning, because I feel like that one was the clearest one. So 100% agree with you there. And then Lampay on my beats of the week. Check out beats of the week. I'm just highlighting dope beats that I have been freestyling to. Great idea. Always looking for new beats. Please continue this series. I have a freestyle beats playlist that I update since 2017. Yo, I'm gonna check that out. Appreciate your comment, man. And that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Please hit that sub button if you haven't already. That like, that comment. So we can, build the community even more. Join our Discord. We're spitting, hitting that cipher. I know a couple people slide through. Anyway, let's get back to the reaction because that's why we're here. All right. If you're easily offended, step the fuck out.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Oh yeah, perfect.
You know what time it is in here? That's right.
Perfect.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's turn it up. Oh, he's sitting down.
Fire in the booth.
You got to stand up, get that lung energy. Also, repping the Bulls heavy today. God damn. I was wearing this during the draft lottery. Got number 4, baby. Let's go.
Much anticipated part 2. Hold tight, suspense. Listen. If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep. If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep. Listen.
Bar. Just the truth. If they don't let us dream, we don't let them sleep. Stay the fuck awake, please.
It's the zeitgeist, Zapatista, Zoroat is Zenit, Zed is zinc in the zebra, zigzagging zealots, zilch to zombies and Zionists, he's Zen in his zodiac, firing.
You're really gonna go Z through A on us? You're really gonna go Z through A on us? Hitting Zen, the Zionist, what the fuck?
It's the zeitgeist, Zapatista, Zoroat is Zenit, Zed is
Zapatista, Zoroat, I don't even fucking.
Listen. It's the zeitgeist, Zapatista, Zoroat is Zenit, Zed is zinc in the zebra, zigzagging zealots, zilch to zombies and Zionists, he's Zen in his zodiac, fire in the booth, it's a rostry in the zone, he's like yapping like Yokozuna in Yemen, YouTube and yoga, Yokozuna in Yoville, yodeling in Yoruba, yelling you're the yardstick of yesteryear, like your bow with a yearning, I'm yawning, this is like a Yeti versus Yoda, I'm an X-ray, you're Xerox, I'm
This is like a Yeti versus Yoda? Oh, like the Yeti monster and the... Am I really gonna have to catch all these bars? He's going crazy to start off. We're only 55 seconds in. I'm already pausing like a fucking motherfucker.
Yokozuna in Yoville, yodeling in Yoruba, yelling you're the yardstick of yesteryear, like your bow with a yearning, I'm yawning, this is like a Yeti versus Yoda, I'm an X-ray, you're Xerox, I'm Xavier to the X-Men.
I'm yearning, you're yawning was fucking fire. I'm yearning, you're yawning. You stay asleep, I stay awake. Let's go.
I'm yawning, this is like a Yeti versus Yoda. I'm an X-ray, you're Xerox, I'm Xavier to the X-Men. Eximus, like your Xanax to an extent. A wonderful world is waiting while weapons wage war. We're weeping, who's winning? We wish them well while wicked wizard webs are weaving. They rip us till we're wheezing, words of wisdom won't weaken.
The amount of times he's not even, like, the actual alliteration. Because, you could say way to well, or, I'm not even making sense, but saying to or the or he's not even doing that most of the time. It's straight, every single word is a W here. That's crazy.
Yeti versus Yoda, I'm an X-ray, you're Xerox, I'm Xavier to the X-Men. Eximus, like your Xanax to an extent. A wonderful world is waiting while weapons wage war, we're weeping, who's winning?
While weapons wage war, we weeping. While weapons wage war, we weeping.
Eximus, like your Xanax to an extent. A wonderful world is waiting.
A wonderful world See, is one of those like little words. It's not a problem. I'm just saying like the amount of times he's not even using the is or is insane.
Weapons wage war, we're weeping. Who's winning? We wish them well while wicked wizard webs are weaving. They rip us
While wicked webs are weaving.
till we're wheezing. Words of wisdom won't weaken. Witness these whatless witness Wally's waffling with their weekend. Their word in his Wikipedia. Virtually void of vitals versus visceral vintage but vivid videos. Going viral, I'm your uncle that understands. Now it's us with the upper hand. We were underlings, underrated, unhuman to Uncle Sam.
V for Vendetta flow too. I love the V's.
Virtually void of vitals versus visceral vintage but vivid videos. Going viral, I'm your uncle that understands. Now it's us with the upper hand. We were underlings, underrated, unhuman to Uncle Sam. There are those thinking tactics to take the throne, though the truth tends to be told through their thesaurus takes its toll. Slithering snakes stipulate systems to sell your soul.
Slithering snakes stipulate what slithers in your soul. What'd he say?
Tends to be told through their thesaurus takes its toll. Slithering snakes stipulate systems to sell your soul.
Systems to sell your soul. Slithering snakes stipulate systems to sell your soul. Yo, low key. We gotta change your name up to high key, bro. This.
Secretly seek social stratification set in stone. Regiments ravage the region, now it's right for reparations. Rendered refugees can't retract or repair ramifications. Quest to quash the quarrels on quintessentially qualified quitters quake. Quality of my quotes can't be quite quantified. People pass prematurely.
Quality of my quarrels can't be. Quality of my quotes can't be quantified.
Essentially qualified quitters quake. Quality of my quotes can't be quite quantified. People pass prematurely. Pay the price for passivity. Pretext of pillage plunder. Prepared to prolong proximity. People's pathology pulverized by this possibility. People power is potent. It's the peak of positivity. Oligarchs ostracize others. Offer obituaries over.
It's the peak of positivity. Oligarchs ostracize others. Oh my god, bro. This is insane, man. Who has the lyrics to this shit? Is it on Genius?
They're prepared to prolong proximity. People's pathology pulverized by this possibility. People power is potent. It's the peak of positivity.
People power is potent. It's the peak of positivity. People's power is at the peak. It's most potent when you're at the peak of positivity. This man is speaking the truth with only one letter at a time, backwards through the alphabet.
Oligarchs ostracize others, offer obituaries. Overrule, I overstand the odyssey. Optimistically, norms of a nascent nation should never negate nature. Nasty as nefarious neocon naysayers for neighbors. This masterful maverick mic man will make you meet your maker. Meanwhile, merciless mercenaries maneuver to meet the majors. Lyrically lack luster, literally lack love, lust, living lavish in luxury. Listeners lap up a kaleidoscope of kind.
Hold up, literally lack love, you literally lack lust. What is he?
Your maker, meanwhile, merciless mercenaries maneuver to meet the majors. Lyrically lack luster, literally lack love, lust.
Lyrically lack luster, literally lack love. Lust will.
Living lavish in luxury, listeners lap up a kaleidoscope of kindness. Knowledge, knuckles, and kerosene to kill the kleptocracy. Cool the kettle that they kept us in. Jabbing javelins at jingoism, jealousy justified when jeering at jobless is journalism, information industry, interlinked with infantry, instrumentalize identity, implant ignorance instantly, hackers and handcuffs.
Hold up, that I was some truth too. I'm going
Javelins
crazy.
at jingoism, jealousy justified when jeering at jobless is journalism, information industry, interlinked with infantry, instrumentalize identity, implant ignorance instantly, hackers and handcuffs.
Implant ignorance instantly. Increment your identity and plant ignorance instantly. Come on.
Interlinked with infantry, instrumentalize identity, implant
Instrumentalize identity, yo.
ignorance instantly, hackers and handcuffs, harvesters of hatred, hang gliding, harbingers of harassment, harbor harmful handwriting, gangsters of globalization, glorify glitz and the glam, give us guidance to the graveyard, they got the gift of the gap, it's flawless, how they fabricate the folklore of defeat and fun and fun.
Oh my god.
The graveyard, they got the writing, gangsters of globalization, glorify glitz and the glam.
Gangsters of globalization glorify the glitz and the glam.
Give us guidance to the graveyard.
Give us guidance to the grave. They got the gift of gab. Come on. This guy is going crazy. This is some of the best shit I've heard. Like, period. This is insane.
Harmful handwriting, gangsters of globalization, glorify glitz and the glam. Give us guidance to the graveyard, they got the gift of the gap. It's flawless, how they fabricate the folklore of defeat and funnel funds for freelance fighters and fawn over fights for freedom.
Run the F back. I don't give a fuck. We're breaking this all down.
Glitz and the glam, give us guidance to the graveyard. They got the gift of the gap. It's flawless how they fabricate the folklore of the fiefdom.
It's flawless how to fabricate the folklore of the
Funnel funds for freelance fighter. The gift of the gap. It's flawless how they fabricate the folklore of the fiefdom. Funnel funds.
how to fabricate the the fiefdom funnel.
Graveyard, they got the gift of the gap. It's flawless how they fabricate the folklore of the fiefdom.
How to fabricate the folklore of the fiefdom.
Funnel funds for freelance
Funnel
fighters
funds
and
for
falling over
freelance
fights for
fighters.
freedom.
Falling over fights for freedom.
Economics, everything, exploitation and epidemic, exhausting environments, easy but the dividends are deadly, don't dare dream of doing different. Dread our destruction's definitely coming as the catalyst, clamour for the capital, can't counteract the cycle, the catastrophe could cancel all, bring borders to bear, bombarded with the broken, basically bribery beckons business, we are beholden though accurate answers to all of the above.
Basically, bribery beckons business. The lyricism is all time on this one.
Counteract the cycle, the catastrophe could cancel all, bring borders to bear, bombarded with the broken, basically bribery beckons business. We are beholden though accurate answers to all of the above aren't available. I attack the alphabet again and aced it just to aim at you. They say anything is attainable, attack the alphabet again and ace.
Perfect.
Where's Charlie? Hit me with the energy.
Much love, bro.
Hey, first time you come in, you killed the alphabet, assassinated it, and just to take the Mickey, you come in and kill it backwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Much love, bro.
Man like Lowkey in the building.
There was so much more than the alphabet, though. The shit he was saying was like, focus on the words, man. They fabricating the truth. The fiefdom funnel's gonna fund the freelances. Man, cause I got the gift of the gab. They give us directions to the grave.
Thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure, my G.
Yeah, man.
You ain't done yet, though, are you?
I ain't done it all. Let's do it.
Done it. Oh, I ain't done it. Oh,
Let's do it.
this beat. Let's turn it up.
Yeah. If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep.
Yup. Come back to it.
If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep.
Let's go.
Turn up.
How can I do a fire in the booth when I'm trying just to maintain? And since you don't hear the word fire in the same way, heard screams.
All right, so he's reading on this one. I don't. It's fine. He wrote it, and memorizing shit is fucking difficult. And this is crazy. 14 minutes of straight fire. I don't think he was reading for the alphabetical one, so it's all good. I respect it.
When I'm trying just to maintain, and since you don't hear the word fire in the same way, heard screams, splutters, and them gasping for air. That's not bars in a booth, it's so hard to compare. If I use fire as a metaphor, does that disrespect the people that are never more? How does that bomb sound to those that bled in war that we never saw? Remember when they settled scores?
How does that bomb sound to those that have been in war? Ooh, spins. That's tough. That's tough to spit in this booth right here too, cause Charlie be dropping bombs left and right. Not in like a bad way. He's just, you know, it's fire in the booth and all that. But he's going deep with it. This shit'll make you change the way you go about your programming. Oh my god.
If I use fire as a metaphor, does that disrespect the people that are never more? How does that bomb sound to those that bled in war that we never saw? Remember when they settled scores with metal swords at Skeletor? Chinese made gunpowder, Nobel invented dynamite. They say the guilt in his mind compelled him to design the prize.
They say the guilt in his mind compelled him to design the prize because he made gunpowder and he felt shitty about it. I feel like anyone who had a hand, I feel like Einstein is probably like so mad at himself that his legacy is forever tied to the atomic bomb. Not that like it was his fault that tragic thing happened. I'm just saying, like, if I was in that situation and I was smart as fuck and I was working on this and not really knowing all the consequences, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't, I don't know, but that's one of the geniuses of like ever, right? And I don't know. I think about that shit sometimes, man.
The Nobel invented dynamite. They say the guilt in his mind compelled him to design the prize. We know what Einstein's mind was like. How many?
Oh my god, come on. Low key, let's go, baby.
Mind compelled him to design the prize. We know what Einstein's mind was like. How many geniuses we never knew that were deprived of life. I can't philosophize on horrifying flames. We don't have to apologize or qualify our pain. Degrentialize our loved ones of the colonizer's name. Should we let the corporate media lobotomize our brains? You are beautiful. No matter how this life disfigures you, you're beautiful. Even if that image you emulate isn't you. I don't know if history is linear or cyclical, but no, I'm ridiculed for making invisibles visible. That's why Plato said banish poets from the Republic, cause they know that we can shake the social system and disrupt it. The land of liberty, they tell us leave it or lump it. When Trump comes to the country, we hope he chokes on his crumpet before we sink in the ocean. Consider this as an omen. Nature's blessings aren't ours just cause we think that we own them. Never think that you're broken or think that you're no one. Remember, a rope is strong because of strings interwoven. Would they love you more if you mock the...
Remember, a rope is strong because of strings interwoven. And he's been spitting truth the whole time. I'm so in the zone with this one, man. This is my favorite I don't care. The rest could be trash. This first 5.5 minutes is my favorite Fire in the Booth. My personal listings, I don't give a fuck. He is spitting right into the fucking soul and the truth, the lyricism, everything he's saying, I vibe with. Everything he's doing right
Nature's
now.
blessings aren't ours just cause we think that we own them. Never think that you're broken or think that you're no one. Remember, a rope is strong because of strings interwoven. Would they love you more if you mock the people that you're from? Self-orientalize and believe that you belong. Overcompensate and propagate the image of the imbecile, not uninvolved. Even though you're further from the killing field, take solace in the fact there's always cracks in the monolith. Now we're practically lobbing bricks like Asterix and Obelix. Distracted with gossip is twisted news and interlude to adverts. No hidden clues to listen to is pitiful.
Perfect.
Rosa Luxemburg gave us the simple truth. You won't feel your chains till the day you begin to move.
Sometimes you just gotta know to back off the perfect. I don't know. Who vibes with the perfect? Because I'm just in the mood right now, just listening to him speak the truth, and it's just perfect. Like we got it. We're still inside the perfect. We're still inside it. We don't need to fuck it up by blatantly telling you that it's perfect. I don't know.
The imbecile, not uninvolved, even though you're
But hold on, we gotta rewind. I gotta break some of these bars down because he's saying so much.
long. Overcompensate and propagate the image of the imbecile.
Overcompensate and propagate the image of the imbecile because they're just putting shit in the media, like directing people how to live. You know, glorifying glitz and glam, showing you the way to your grave because they got the gift of gab. Well, he has the gift of gab too, and he's now preaching the greatness that he has. And the fakeness gonna unravel.
Not uninvolved, even though you're further from the killing field. Take solace in the fact there's always cracks in the monolith. Now we're practically lost.
Take solace in the fact that there is always cracks in the monolith. There's always cracks in the people up top or the strongest or whatever. Everyone has their flaws.
In bricks like Asterix and Obelix, distracted with gossip is twisted news and interlude to adverts. No hidden clues to listen to is pitiful.
Perfect.
Rosa Luxemburg gave us the simple truth. You won't feel your chains till the day you begin to move. He photographed the corpse and they flung him in the cage. Those that signed off on the cladding are still receiving their wage. Helicopters hover close, pictures for the front page. Tried to speak, all I really felt deep was numb rage. How could they see this pain at such a young age? Leaning out the window screaming for help, but none came. If it bleeds, it leads. The trauma tourists, they gravitate. Shock doctrine in effect, disaster capitalists salivate. Privatization, deregulation and austerity. 0-hour contracts, exploitation and precarity. Adults didn't make it, the children to be fostered. Save pennies on the block, drop 20 million on the opera. We see through your cold plans, your program. 0-hour contracts, exploitation and precarity. Adults didn't make it, the children to be fostered. Save pennies on the block, drop 20 million on the opera. We see through your cold plans, your program is...
Hold up, drop children on the street, put 20 million in the opera. That's what I had to rewind.
Save pennies on the block, drop 20 million on the opera.
Save pennies on the block, drop 20 million on the opera. Parents didn't want their kids to be fostered. Like, the shit he's speaking is too true, and that's why people aren't trying to listen to the shit. The masses aren't trying to hear the truth. man.
We see through your cold plans, your program is done. We don't want a prime minister that holds hands with Trump. We don't want DJs doing shows on military compounds. Can't trivialize fire or hear any more bomb sounds. How can I smile when I know the remains are still not found? And echoing in my mind is exactly how the sobs sound. They say we're criminals for syllables and stanzas when they subsidize the killers' tools, the pillagers and bankers who
Run that back. Run that fucking back.
when I know the remains are still not found. And echoing in my mind is exactly how the sobs sound. They say we're criminals for syllables and stanzas when they subsidize the killers' tools, the pillagers and bankers who were the engines of history. People like me and you who got massacred for the right to vote at Peterloo. It was Imagineers.
It was Imagineers. The vocab on this man. The depiction of the truth of this man. They say we're criminals for our stanzas while they pillage village and try to, I don't know what he actually said, but the message, the vibe is immaculate right now.
And the artists that told by the martyrs, William Cuffy and the chartists, rebel and resist, even through something small. Create windows with words and mirrors where once were walls. Manure contributes to the beauty of a rose. Why can't we accept our pain as something that helps us grow? They wonder why songs that make you cry are more moving, cause crying's the only thing that we were born doing. They tell us tea is tradition to the English. When I look around this island, not a tea plantation in it. Earl Grey gave 20 million to the slave traders, multipolar world. Now the Indians are space raiders. Freedom to be even or merely alienate labor. Freedom for fossil fuelers to desecrate and invade nature. Albert was an immigrant. Prince Philip is an immigrant. Where the Celts, Normans and the Anglo-Saxons English then. The word sugar, cotton and rice come from Arabic. Now we import democracy to civilize the Saracens.
Stop it. Stop it. Get the fucking lyrics up. Read this shit. Run that shit 20 seconds back, bro. The shit he's saying. And this is what I don't understand about like the UK and England. And when I say I don't understand, I actually don't. And I'm learning right now because it makes sense. It makes sense. The powerful countries have the most fucked up shit because the only way to get power, since power itself in itself is fucking corrupt, the powerful countries are the ones that have the most oppressed people chilling and the most to have to hide. So people like Lowkey and the people who get massacred or the resistance or whatever are vilified because they're at the power. So the most power you have, and England has reached levels that few countries have in history. So it makes sense that all this shit is true and is happening. Because, man, anyway. Because I'm from, I was born in Chicago, so the U.S. obviously has so many fucked up shit. And then I'm Turkish descent. My family's Turkish. My whole family's Turkish. And Turkey, Ottoman Empire, again, has reached power levels and has had fucked up shit. And it's still right now, things are not the best. So it just makes sense to me, man. But the truth is he's spitting right now is insane.
When I look around this island, not a tea plantation in it. Earl Grey gave 20 million to the slave traders, multipolar world. Now the Indians are space raiders. Freedom to be even or merely alienate labor. Freedom for fossil fuelers to desecrate and invade nature. Albert was an immigrant. Prince Philip is an immigrant. Where the Celts, Normans and the Anglo-Saxons English then. The word sugar, cotton and rice come from Arabic. Now we import democracy to civilize the Saracens. Analyzing planets when this backwater was wilderness. Seems we're still obsessed with immortality like Gilgamesh. Pessimism of intellect, optimism of will. Where the skin of their victims.
Pessimism of intellect, optimism they will. Is that what he's saying?
Like Gilgamesh, pessimism of intellect, optimism of will.
Pessimism of intellect, optimism of will. I don't think everyone's smart, but I know everyone got the heart. Let's go.
Where the skin of their victims is syndrome Buffalo Bill. In times of permanent war, there's always someone to kill. But when life and death are virtual, almost nothing is real. They get my snapshots in a padlock box, but settle with the heavy metal. This is rap, not rock. It's fire in the booth, but man's not hot. I just got genius bars like a laptop shop. They wanna know if
Genius bars like a laptop shop, right? Like Apple Genius. And the bars, the table, that's what they call them. Oh my god. And see, he's giving us the, the little bars too that aren't too crucial in their meaning and of life and philosophy, but you know, you gotta get a quick bar in.
Box but settle with the heavy metal. This is rap, not rock. It's fire in the booth, but man's not hot. I just got genius bars like a laptop shop. They wanna know if I got a flow or I'm gonna blow. Back like Geronimo Pratt, let's rock and roll. I never sold my soul for a pot of gold. Now feel this scholar's solid knowledge in your collarbone. Subject to propaganda that terrifies the slumbered, but the albums still sell. You can verify the numbers. Collectivize or die. Protect your mind or suffer. Life is paradise to some and a paradise to others. While these
Life is paradise to some and a paradise to others. Cause gambling, life is paradise. It's positive to some, but it's gambling and it's, you know, either here or there to others. Oh my god, bro. Non-stop. We still got 6 minutes.
Protect your mind or suffer. Life is paradise to some and a paradise to others. While these twittery teens are sinking in screens and thinking in memes. They blinking this machine is pimping their dreams. I think it's obscene, as sick as it seems. They don't know what lyrical invincibility means. Barge through for part 2, I can't lose. Labels astroturfing, trying to make it look grassroots. Gone are the days we sold our CDs from the car.
Oh my god, labeled astroturfing, they're trying to make it look grassroots. And tell me the cadence and rhyme scheme doesn't matter. Tell me the cadence and rhyme scheme doesn't matter. You can spit the truth and have the cadence and rhyme schemes on top of it. The amount of multis he's spitting, the delivery's on point anyway, the crispness of the flow, and the amount of times he's changing flows and rhyme schemes. Like, tell me that doesn't matter when you're hearing this. Because some rappers don't have it. For me, this is super important. What you're saying is the most important to me. But it doesn't reach that next level if you don't have what Lowkey's doing right now. If you don't have what Mike or Eminem or like Biggie or Jurassic 5, the rappers in that group, like when you have the message on top of the flow and the cadence, it's different. It just is.
Labels astroturfing, trying to make it look grassroots. Gone are the days we sold our CDs from the car boot. Sharpshooters shooting harpoons through your chart tunes. So pain in the eyes of a retired fireman, knowing he couldn't save a child, survived the frying pan. When we riot, we disquiet the Leviathan. Forget Iron Man, I got an Iron Lion's diaphragm.
When we riot, we quiet the Leviathan.
We riot, we disquiet the Leviathan. Forget Iron Man, I got an Iron Lion's diaphragm.
Forgot Iron Man got an Iron Lion's diaphragm.
My salutation to those with imagination, most anticipated, and that's no exaggeration. The flag doesn't exist. Let me back up that statement. What happens to the nation if the Queen has a tax haven? What's commonsensical is sensible to question. What seems to be a lesson is intellectual repression. Say the ting goes as expression of aggression. Remember, there's 2 victims on either side of the weapon.
Get that back. Run that shit back. Say it again, Lowkey.
That statement, what happens to the...
Fuck the flag. Fuck every flag, bro. Flags are just... Like, okay, where does it end? Where does it end? Okay, love thy neighbor, or love your family, right? It's little pockets. It's your family. People who give birth to you is your first relationship. Then it's your neighbors. Then it's the tribe or whatever. Then it's the whole town if you have full civilizations. Then it's the country. Then it's the world. Then it's... or the continent, then it's the world, then it's the other planets. Like, where are you gonna draw this line of demarcation where you're gonna not fuck with the other person or you're gonna vibe with the person next to you more? Why do we draw these lines?
Then that's no exaggeration, the flag doesn't exist. Let me back up that statement. What happens to the nation if the Queen has a tax haven? What's commonsensical is sensible to question.
What's commonsensical is sensible to question. Yes.
To the nation if the Queen has a tax haven. What's commonsensical is sensible to question. What seems to be a lesson is intellectual repression.
What seems to be a lesson is intellectual repression.
Say the ting goes as expression of aggression. Remember, there's 2 victims on either side of the weapon. We won't let them sleep. If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep. If they don't let us dream, then we won't let them sleep. Listen, check it. Power to those that read bell hooks, power to those that sell books, power to those that know how the inside of a cell looks. All those feeling helpless, forgotten or discarded. Power to the strange fruit they thought was rotten in the garden. Power to those sitting alone, seeking knowledge in the. Power to those feeling stained or your tomorrow isn't tarnished. Power to those that sweep the streets with more knowledge than PhDs. Power to those that keep their keys, return as promised, please believe. Power to those that suffer in silence, those it hurts to hear. Power to those that hold their ground, power to those that persevere. Power to those that love humanity more than they love style. Power to immigrants, probably raising Donald Trump's child. Power to the who can't imagine what sight is, those staring at the moon and all those working night shifts. Power to the readers, the writers, the illiterate. Power to those that struggle to decolonize their syllabus. Power to the shy ones who always struggle to make friends on the half of humanity worth less than 8 men. Power to those that risk their life to dig the coltan from the ground for the mic I'm spitting on and the phone you're holding now. Power to those that built the stadium they're playing in. Power to those that mowed the grass and stitched the ball that they're playing with. Every rapper that doesn't rap about killing. Power to the builders who build buildings that outlived them. Power to the slaves of
Power to those who build buildings that outlived them. I don't know why I stopped on that one, because he's saying so much. Power to those that built the stadium. Power to those that stitched the ball that they be playing with. Power to those. Oh my God.
Doesn't rap about killing. Power to the builders who build buildings that outlived them. Power to the slaves of ancient Greece. Never had the right to vote. Democracy dead like Gary Webb when they imported like his coke. Power to those that write to prison. Power to those writing home. Power to those writing poems. Power to those that died alone. Power to Curtis Mayfield. Power to Ronald Isley. Power to the fishermen that were forced into piracy. Power for every person that is working in a library. Power to every nurse that we turn to in our times of need. Power to the unions and the miners that should punish. Power to those that drive the buses and those that collect the rubbish.
Power to the essential work, not quotes, the essential workers, right? Everything he's saying is about the essential workers that we are now relying on during the times of need in the pandemic and corona. Power to the people who are doing the shit that matter, not to the superficial bullshit that we put on a pedestal. Fuck.
The unions and the miners that should punish. Power to those that drive the buses and those that collect the rubbish. Power to the youth desiring the truth. Power for every rapper that is dying for a fire in the booth. For those that lost limbs to King Leopold's quota and those risking their lives for the P&O to Dover. Power to union leaders murdered by. Power to victims of this globalized Cosa Nostra. Power to those dying on the shores and the borders. Power to human beings that were rendered fauna and flora. Power to those that after the stage show and carnival goers still haunted by Kelso Cole Crane's ghost. Power to Kevin Carter, his picture taunts us ever after. So many questions never answered.
I need to do so much research with this verse too, man. All these names, I'm not actually getting the names. Apologies for that. But the vibe, I'm sure it's people who were unjustly incarcerated or killed or, you know, did something right and got blamed for it or whatever it may be. I'm assuming it's that type of shit.
So Cole Crane's ghost. Power to Kevin Carter, his picture taunts us ever after. So many questions never answered. Remember the last words of عبد المحسن السعدون. الأمة تنتظر الخدمة الإنجليز لا يوافقون. Power to El Jawahiri and his rebellions. They killed his brother Ja'far and he cursed the rotten Thamesians. Enlightened despots pursuing tactics Machiavellian. Chinese still preceded Europe a millennium. Think about it. Printed press half a millennium. Never get close. Power to Ken Loach and every volunteer in Lesbos. Cuban doctors sent to Sri Lanka for the tsunami. Power to those that cleaned up after the Bullingdon parties. Kids knowing Apple products before they know what an apple is. Forgotten like passengers on the USS Indianapolis. Dying days before they could see what little boys damage did on the precipice of fascism. My passiveness is cancerous. Power to those strong enough to dream. Power to those that chose not to be a cog in the machine. Power to those that love first and hate never. Power to those that sleep on the streets through grey weather. Power to Aziz Ali and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Power to Norman Baker, David Kelly's owner artery. Power to the genocided population of Tasmania. The internet descends to Trump-tastic fantasia. Let them try quote this. You'll never find a better diagnosis than collective psychosis. It's getting quite hopeless, but hope
You'll never find a better diagnosis than collective psychosis, bro.
You'll never find a better diagnosis than collective psychosis. It's getting quite hopeless, but hope is all we have. Trying to cultivate the positive, not focus on the bad, but the globe's under attack. The obnoxious rage of a fake intellectual. Amazing grace in the age of the spectacle. Not the first time they found a race is selectable to raise to the pedestal and desecrate the place that translated the decimal. I don't want to tempt fate. Power to corpse washers like AN day power to language learners, Bernie Sanders fans to flag burners. One man's inertia is another man's purpose. In the utopia of song, we are victorious, but the bittersweet reality's not this glorious. Power to Coltrane watching Malcolm X. Power to Paul Robeson under house arrest. Power to Galileo under house arrest. Power to Ibn Haytham under house arrest. Forgive me if I sound obsessed, forgive me if I sound depressed. Believe me, that's not how it's meant. They probably thought I couldn't come back and kill the alphabet. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Say
El Pueblo Unido. Unity in town, I bet. Unity in town? Pueblo means town in Spanish. I don't know what it means in Arabic, I think he's speaking. Unido sounds like unity.
pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
حماس concede. Nah, I don't know.
الشعب يريد اسقاط النظام. Say el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Say el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. الشعب يريد اسقاط النظام. Thank you very much.
See, he also has, so the British, obviously English, the thing I was talking about growing up in a country that has that power and corruptness, but he also has I think someone told me he's Palestinian or some sort of Middle Eastern descent too, so he has that double. He has that double, growing up in a country that oppresses everyone they can.
Lowkey in the building! Woo! I feel like I've just been to university for 5 years. I learned more than I learned in the last 10. Jeez. That was savagery, bro.
Thank you very much,
A very, very, very quick education.
That's fucking Hall of Fame. That's all time. People have to listen to that. I have to share this out. This is next, like Akala Part 4, Lowkey Part 2, and then Mike. All of Mike's shit is pretty fresh, like fresh. But I don't know if he's even had something 14 minutes consistent. His Part 4 was crazy. I don't know. I'm not comparing. I'm just talking about greatness right here. And this definitely fits the bill. Hit that sub, or we switched up the scenes. See how smooth that was, by the way? Leave a comment below what you think. And this one gets a fucking stamp, a badge, or whatever we're going to have for these Fire in the Booths. I might have to do a ranking after checking out all of these. But let's get it, baby. Appreciate y'all listening. And we'll talk to y'all next time.